Hi everyone, you're watching the channel in Google Sheets, and today we've got some Google Sheets tricks. In this lesson, I'll show you a few really cool tricks with conditional formatting. Things like highlighting duplicates, highlighting the minimum or maximum date within a data range, and even highlighting specific data where the list of exceptions is stored on a completely different sheet. So watch till the end. I hope you'll find it useful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Alright, first let me show you how I made these nice alternating highlights. It's actually very simple. Select the range you want, go here, choose this option, pick the color you like, and then click Done. Let me delete it and show you a clear example. Select the Format Alternate Colors and choose the highlight style you want for your rows. You can select a header if you want it to have a different color, and then set how the alternating colors will appear. Let's bring it back the way it was, and this way you can highlight your data sets to make them easier to read. Let's keep it like that. The next trick is highlighting duplicates. For example, let's highlight all duplicates in the brand column. So whenever a duplicate appears, it will be highlighted in a specific color. How can we do this? The first way is by using the count if formula. Then, select our column and use the same column as the argument. That's where we're searching for matches. As we can see here, the result is 13. That means this value appears 13 times. Next, we drag our formula down to cover the range we need, or we can leave it as is. Then we move on to conditional formatting. Here, we set the rule. I1 is greater than 1. Since the condition checks whether it's greater than 1, all duplicates will be highlighted automatically. Let's drag this down. Now if we type something new, you'll see it's not highlighted yet, but once we add a duplicate, it instantly gets highlighted. That's how you can highlight duplicates. This is a rough version though. It's better not to use it, because we already have a cleaner formula that can be placed directly inside conditional formatting. In principle, we can just take that same formula, copy it here, and refine it. What are we saying? We're searching again within our range B:B. It's best to lock it because conditional formatting will otherwise run across all columns. And here we won't use B2 since we're starting from the first row. We need to reference B1. So now we've reproduced the same result as this formula we wrote earlier. Next, we also need to check that the count is greater than 1. Our condition will then be met. As you can see, where it equals 1, nothing is highlighted. That means this brand appears only once. But as we go further, duplicates will be highlighted. I think that's clear. I'll leave this sheet in the description as always. Don't worry. You'll be able to copy it with all the formulas. Take it and use it without any issues. The main thing is that you understand how this works. I think it's clear enough. Let's move on and make our task a bit more complex. We have the same table again, but now we need to highlight the maximum or minimum release dates. Those dates from column D. We want to highlight only the data that corresponds to either the maximum or minimum date for each brand. How can we do that? Let's start by building the formula, step by step. We can do this with filter. First, we extract the dates from column D. Next, we say that in column B we'll be matching the same set of values from column B. You'll notice there are many results. To make it unique, we can wrap our filter function inside max, which will take any dates we pass and return the latest one. As a result, we'll get a single date. Then, let's drag the formula down. For every brand, we'll get the maximum date that exists for that brand. Now let's go to our conditional formatting. Now once again, we'll write that D1, but this time we'll add a $sign. Why do we add the $sign here? Because conditional formatting always runs row by row. By adding the $sign, we're telling it to work only within column D. Without the $sign, we're allowing it to move from D1 to D2, D3, D4, and so on, meaning we're letting it search row by row. So it goes D1, D2, D3, D4, and here we say that it equals I1. As a result, we'll see the highlight appear wherever we have the maximum dates for that brand. But again, I'm showing this formula just to help you understand how conditional formatting works. We can move the logic directly into conditional formatting and not use this helper column at all. Let's do that. I'll copy it, paste the formula here. Something broke, that's okay. We just need to adapt it. Everything's already set up. Let's lock column D with $signs. Lock column B as well. And here, instead of B2, we'll use B1 because we're starting from the first row of the range we're searching in. Add the $sign there. Now we've replicated the formula. The only thing we haven't done yet is tell it that we're, once again, comparing to D1. We add D1 with the $sign and the equals sign. As a result, we get the same outcome. I can even delete this formula now. There are no formulas left, and our highlighting still works. You can style the highlight however you want, any way you like. These will be the maximum dates. You can also do the same for minimum dates. Let's change just 2 letters, and now we see the minimum dates instead. It works the same way, and from here you can expand this formula however you need. You can specify not just one brand, but also include the model, meaning you can search for a combination of brand plus model and highlight the minimum or maximum date within that pair. Let's try to adapt this inside our filter function as well. I'll bring the formula back here so you can follow along. Now let's add one more condition to filter, C:C equals C1. And we've got a result. Let's make sure it's correct. For example, set it to the maximum date. This combination should not be highlighted anywhere else. Apple iPhone 17. Apple Pro Max. Don't mix them up. Looks good. It works. Switch max to min and we get all the minimum values. If you see empty rows getting highlighted too, you need to refine the formula. Just add this into AND as a second argument. We'll say that a column cell, let's use B1, must not be empty. B1 is not equal to double quote. That's 2 double quotes. Close it. Now we have multiple conditions. This is the second AND condition and this is the first AND condition. When both are met, the conditional formatting triggers and your minimum and maximum highlights work correctly. I'll leave this here as well. Copy it into your own sheet and let's move on to the most interesting part. Personally, this is my favorite trick. Let's say we have our data set and we're adding to it over time. We also have a list of exceptions. I want us to highlight the brands I don't want. For example, this one. It could be a model or a brand. Doesn't matter. Let's use the brand for now. So, an unpopular one, no offense to Nokia, but it's not a popular brand at the moment, at least in phones. And I want to create a list of exceptions like this. I'll put it somewhere separately and let's pick a few. This one and this one. Let's take those lists and place them here. Now I want everything from that list to be highlighted, only the ones that appear in it. Let's try doing this with conditional formatting. We write an equal sign. It works the same way as duplicate highlighting. So we'll use count if. Then we need to reference that other sheet. It doesn't work directly because we can't reference another sheet through the conditional formatting menu. So let's type it manually with an exclamation mark and select column A from that sheet. Then we specify what we're checking against. In this case, brand B1. Lock it with a $sign. And finally, we say greater than 0. And we get an error. Let me try outputting this in a regular formula to see what's wrong. The issue is that there shouldn't be quotation marks here. They should be here. Now it works. Let's fix that. but our conditional formatting still isn't working, even though the formula itself works. Let's try dragging it down. You see, there's just one detail. We need to use B2 here because we're starting from B2. 2 cells. Now drag it down like this. And look, Nokia is highlighted. Vaio is also flagged as true, since it's in our exceptions list. But we can refine our conditional formatting further. Do it the way we already like. Reference I1, lock it with a $sign, and we immediately see the highlight. We don't need to write anything else because true is exactly what conditional formatting looks for. If it finds a true result somewhere, it highlights it. Where it's false, it won't. Any result of your expression that evaluates to true will trigger conditional formatting on that row. Yes, but we came here to see tricks, not these kinds of workarounds. Let's recall my previous video about indirect and try to make these exceptions work directly inside conditional formatting, without any extra helper functions on this sheet. We remove the old rule and create a new one. Let's select the range like this. Then, our formula. We can actually copy what we already have and slightly adjust it. Just a quick reminder. We are starting from the range's first row. It's an absolute reference, but since it begins from the first line, we also need to specify 1 here. Next, we need to recall the indirect function. What does it do? It takes a text value of any range we pass into it, no matter where that range is located. Let's try it. Here, double quotation marks are required because we're passing text. Then we close the parenthesis. After that, we add single quotation marks because they must go around the sheet name. We also add $signs, and don't forget to include the equals sign. As a result, we get our highlighting again. These extra formulas are no longer needed. We can delete them, and everything will still be highlighted based on the data from that list. Let's add something else here to check, and let's see if it highlights. Yes, it does. So now, depending on which exception data we have here, they'll be highlighted over there. You can use and refine tricks like this however you want. The key is to understand how it works. I think it's clear now. Once again, I'll leave the sheet in the description. You can grab it, copy the trick for yourself, and enjoy using it. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like. And if you enjoy my videos, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time.